Last winter I built a half A Marval. Normally I build from kits or semi-kits, so this was a little more challenging for me. I really liked the design of the wing with the spruce bars in the center and the carbon caps over the ribs and the sheeted leading edge on the top. And this was a more high aspect ratio than I have flown before. I remember seeing the article in Model Aviation Magazine by Dan Barry before I was into free flight competition. And when I did go to the Nats, I enjoyed watching Dan fly his larger Marvels. I remember seeing the half-A version there, but I didn't see Dan fly it. In the past, I was more likely to try some of the more popular designs like Top Banana, Witch Hawk, Satellite, Pearl, and of course the half-A Viking. Well, I had purchased this Profi 049 engine and hadn't done anything with it, and I wanted a plane that could handle it. I tried to follow the plans and directions best I could. I picked out some really light wood for the fuselage, possibly too light. Building the wing was a fair amount of work for me. I purchased pre-cut carbon strips and turned out to be really expensive. I guess you can cut your own. Here is the completed wing structure and stab. And here's the model before covering. The wing and stab are covered with ultracoat light, and I did put Isaki tissue on the fuselage because it seemed so fragile. I started out with my electric system and did some hand glides and then some short powered flights. A more experienced modeler might think this is silly, but I thought I could catch some small problems before putting more power to the model. So in this flight, which I gave a little more power, but the DT system was slow to activate and it drifted farther and almost hit this little tree. So I thought I fixed that and tried it again, and my camera froze up. On this flight it did a little stall and broke the fuselage in half. It was an easy break to fix, but I put carbon fiber on the corners, which Dan had recommended, and then I had forgotten about it. I went to an even smaller field with tall grass to try some more flights. It seemed like I did get the fuselage glued together pretty straight. Trim seemed pretty much the same, but I realized later that the CG had shifted rearward about 3/16 of an inch. At this point, I wasn't giving it full throttle, and I wasn't launching it real steep. Well, then I got out to this farm to fly it where I've got a lot more room. It didn't seem to climb real well, and I think that was because of the change with the CG. Even if I launched it full throttle, fairly steep, it just would flatten out in the climb. It seemed to transition okay, and the glide was okay. It did seem like it would wander a little bit in the glide, but it was pretty gusty that day. It would have been nice if I had somebody videoing it that could zoom in on it a little bit better so you could see it closer when it's farther out. When I used the DT, it worked fine out here, but I took the plane out again after I moved the CG to the proper place, and it hung up again. This time it was obvious what the problem was. It was the spring loop had fallen down over the stop I had put on it to keep it from going down too far. I bent the loop smaller on it so it can't go down anymore. I want to get some of those neoprene hair bands like Dan uses on his models for this one too. Well, this is where I'm at with it now. You might think the RC thing is silly, but I like it with my level of expertise. At this point, I'm still happy to watch it fly in low performance mode. I see the NIFIS YouTube channel is up to over 3,000 subscribers now. Thank you.